Today we're going to be talking about Forza Horizon 6. Oh my god, I fucked up again. We're talking about Forza Motorsport 6. There's only two Horizon games, there's six Motorsports games. You add that together, that's eight. That's more than some of the franchise you guys want to bitch about on PlayStation. Uncharted only has four. They have one on a PS Vita. You add that together, that's five. Uh, God of War, three main storyline games, two spin-offs that are prequels. There, those two spin-offs that are prequels are on the PSP. The main storylines, uh, one and two, was on the PS2. The third one was on the PS3. Add that together, it's five. Okay, Gran Turismo. They only have six console ones, one on the PSP. Add that together, that's seven. Still doesn't come up to the eight Forza games that the Xbox has, the Xbox brand has, which is only spread across two platforms. Remember that. There is a PS1, there's a PS2, and a PS3 that the Gran Turismo series has been spread across. Okay, and that's console. you know, so that's fucking crazy. Um, we're gonna talk about Forza, but let me go over some information that you guys might not know. I have already pre-ordered, paid off in full, Batman Arkham Knight. Completely paid off. J-Star Victory Versus. You guys already know I've been hyping about that game. If you don't know what it is by now, I will be doing an unboxing of that game and another Japanese game same day, and putting up gameplay that same day, which is June 30th, 2015, this year. As far as Batman Arkham Knight, I'm going to be doing an unboxing where you're going to see me. I got a nice uh, couple Batman shirts. One of them I'm gonna wear in the unboxing. You guys gonna see that, of course, on June 23rd. That's gonna be after E3. I've made the decision not to wait in line for 3 or 4 hours on the waiting list for E3 in the movie theaters. I'm gonna be doing my E3 presentation at my apartment. So I'm gonna be in a party chat or multiple party chats, talking to a lot of people. I'm gonna do some live streams of the stuff that we talk about. It's gonna be awesome. I'm gonna be able to talk to a lot of gamers, get a lot of gamers insight and what they think about games. I've already made the decision to skip Fallout 4. There's nothing you can say. There's nothing you can show me. I'm skipping the game. Whether it comes out this year or next year, I'm skipping the game. There's a lot of multiplats that I will be skipping. That's just how I am. I'm that type of gamer. I'm not the type of gamer that's going to be following everybody that's buying the next Battlefield, buying the next Call of Duty, the next Madden, the next NBA 2K game, the next baseball game, the next hockey game. I'm not that type of gamer. Okay, so don't look at my channel like I'm that type of gamer. Never have been, never showed you guys that I indicate that I'm that type. I'm just not. I decided to stick with PlayStation all the way from the PS3 when people were bitching and moaning and bashing the shit out of it weekly. Okay, not monthly, weekly, actually daily. There were bad news and all of this other trash that people were spewing at the PlayStation brand last generation with the PS3. Okay, now I've been with PlayStation since the PS1, but I've always sided with Nintendo up until when the Wii came out. Yeah, I couldn't handle it. My last handheld with Nintendo was the original DS. Not the Slim, not the Lite, the original DS. The first one that came out with that had the demo for the Metroid game that was multiplayer. I used to play with me and my cousins. So that was the last handheld I had. The last console I had by Nintendo was a GameCube. The last game I played on that GameCube was Tales of Symphonia. You guys can go research all of this shit and you can find it out to be true. After the GameCube, I got a PSP. My brother handed me down his PS2 and Xbox 360. I traded 360 in for more RPGs for my PS2. Strictly was PlayStation at that point. Next generation console already had set was the PS3. When I got a good job, guess what? Did that. Got my apartment, was rolling. Been with PlayStation ever since. Simple story. Don't really need to go with another platform. Can have the money to, but I don't need it. Okay, so you got my story. You know what I'm about. You should have already knew what I'm about. I've been on YouTube since 2008 as Pyro 2000X, but if you guys don't really know who I'm about, that's cool. I just let you guys know. Let's back out of here. I'm trying to turn this music off. So back to Forza. We're going to go over some of the features. I'm going to do a shout out that I promise you guys that I'm going to start doing every Sunday. From here on out, every Sunday, there's going to be a video, whether it's just a shout out or I'm mashing together all different types of information and news. I'm going to be doing shout outs for everybody that's online at that particular time that I'm doing the video. Those are going to be the people that's in the shout out. So, Microsoft is promising, and this was leaked, and then Microsoft came out and revealed it, kind of like what happened with Uncharted. But this is a brand new game. This is a brand new Forza game. This is their sixth Forza game in the Motorsport series. Like I said, there's two in the Horizon that mash those together. That's 8 Forza games. But this is the sixth Motorsports game. So they say they're going to have, this is day one, 450 plus cars, 1080p, 60 frames per second, 2-player split screen, 3D puddles, weather. I see wet weather effects, night racing, cutting edge Forza tech, engine powered, blah blah blah, by the Xbox Cloud or whatever. It's promising to have all of this stuff. I'm just guessing that they also promise to have three-dimensional cockpit views inside of all 450 plus cars and 1080p 60 frames per second. That's a hell of a lot of shit to promise your gamers, but I would love to see a gameplay trailer, even though we already know from the pattern of Microsoft, they don't show gameplay of these games. They like to show a fancy cinematic, just like they've been doing 2 times so far with Tomb Raider, Rise of Tomb Raider, or whatever. So that's what you're getting with Forza. I already told you a new Forza game was coming out, and bam, there it is, right in your fucking face. Got leaked, then it had to get confirmed by Microsoft. We already know there's going to be a Gears collection or a new Gears game being revealed. We know there's going to be some announcement of exclusive Call of Duty stuff. We know there's that new Fable that has not came out yet. It is also going to be on PC for now. I mean, I think the first one was on PC. But this one's going to be on PC and Xbox One, so it's not traditionally just one platform exclusive. It is actually multi-platform. It's on the Xbox One, it's on the PC. And speaking of PC, they're going to be having a E3 conference. I can't even tell you when the last time I acknowledged that they even had a conference. But they're going to have one, and it's going to be the last conference of E3. So, first, on Sunday, June 14th, Bethesda is going to have their E3 conference, Pacific time or West Coast. That's going to be 7 p.m. East Coast time. That's going to be 10 p.m. Microsoft conference the following day, which is going to be June 15th. There's going to be at 9:30 a.m. Pacific time, West Coast time, and on the East Coast time, it's going to be 12:30 p.m. Probably can watch that on TV. Haven't gotten any official confirmation info or where we can watch Microsoft's conference, but I will be watching because at the end of the day, Sony's PlayStation conference is going to be 6 p.m. Pacific time, West Coast time, and over here in the East Coast is going to be 9 p.m. So, yes, like I always do for the past couple years, I've been watching Microsoft's conference first. Now, in between both of Microsoft and Sony, we have EA and Ubisoft. So EA's is right off of Microsoft's conference, which is starting at 1 p.m. Pacific time, West Coast time, and on the East Coast, it's going to be 4 p.m. Now, Ubisoft is going to be pretty much right after theirs. On Pacific Coast, West Coast time, it's going to be 3 p.m. And on the East Coast time, it's going to be 6 p.m. All of this information is going to be found in the second link in the description. The first link in the description is going to tell you about Forza. Just in case you couldn't catch all of this shit, I'm talking fast so I can get this video out the way. So we're just going to play a tad bit of Drive Club. I want to get some more gameplay out there for my channel. I know I've got a ton considered to some people, but to myself, I don't believe I've played the game a lot in front of you guys. But Drive Club is amazing. All the updates run smooth. I know it had a rough start, but it is amazing game. Lots of fucking cars. Profile and all of that shit's just flawless. So let's go drive. I like that they be changing up the pictures and stuff a lot. I really do. a lot. Okay, let's go single race, time trial, Scotland. Hmm, shit looks nice. I'm gonna go to Japan because I know we're about to get a lot of Japanese news. We already got a couple Japanese confirmations, which I really like. And one of the ones that I favor so much is all of the Japanese RPGs we're getting. We're getting a lot of those. I know Xbox fans don't care about it. Well, primarily, they don't sell on Xbox consoles because Xbox fans don't care. So the Japanese developers and producers and gamers and all of that stuff, they don't buy it over there. They don't care about it. So they're never going to come over there ever again unless Microsoft puts down big bucks in these suitcases that they drag around the world paying off developers and shit, unless they slap that shit on a couple of Japanese developers' table, and the Japanese developers have no souls, like Square Enix and Capcom, some of the ones that they bribed over in the past, and they accept that money, then we have the the Japanese exclusives going over to the Xbox One, thus making it a multi-plat. But it hasn't been a lot of that shit this generation. So a lot of the Japanese developers understood that their games sold like utter shit last gen, and they refuse. We're gonna take this one out for a spin. They refuse to put those games on the Xbox One this gen. So it's obvious shit. It sold like shit last gen. Why put it on their new system this gen? Plus, then I think the Xbox One launched after the PS4 in Japan, as well as in the United States. If I'm not mistaken, I'm not sure, but it's clearly selling like garbage in Japan. And I understand consoles are having a rough time in Japan, uh, in a whole, but it's still pretty cool that uh, PlayStation has the PS3 still thriving over there in Japan, getting new games all the time, as well as the PS Vita, which a lot of people over here in the United States say it's dead, but it's still getting fucking games. A console that is dead is declared dead by that company, and the PS Vita is not dead. It is still selling. It is still has the system is still being made. Games are still being made for it. Even exclusives are still being made primarily for that system. Games that are not going to be able to be played on a 3DS or shown on a 3DS. So, when you call something dead, make sure it's dead completely around the world. Like the Dreamcast, when it was dead over here, people were still fucking buying that shit over in Japan. Games were still being made. I mean, I think I heard a couple months ago it was a brand new game being made for the NES or some shit. This was 2015. So when you guys keep saying, "Oh, this console's dead," like you used to say the PS3 was dead, make sure it's dead completely around the world and there's no signs of fucking life. That's the definition of death. It's not coming back. Okay, it might be dead to you as a fanboy at that specific time in history, but if it makes a comeback like the PS3 did and demolishes the Xbox 360, that does not mean the console was dead. It made a comeback and it shitted all over your system, you know. Now, speaking of shitting, this year so far, the PS3 has a 3-month kill streak on the Xbox One. Then the Xbox One sold better in the United States. We're talking about than the PS4, and that was April. We don't know about the month of May until like the 13th or 14th of June when they release the sales numbers, but we'll see. Really like that. Really fucking. Really like that. Red and oh fuck. Okay. Fucking comments on it. Okay, so scratches. Man, nothing's gonna be better than Drive Club. Microsoft's hyping Forza up already about everything besides outside the track, all of the cars, and is that a butterfly? That's a butterfly. That is beautiful. That is just strictly beautiful. Wow. And that button. Crazy. Fucking detail. Oh, outside of the concrete. That's what I like. And a lot of points here. Look like my crew is level 30. Not high compared to some of these master crews all around. Still pretty high. No, this video is pretty lengthy, but I wanted to store as much information in these videos as possible so I don't have to keep popping them out like some people that we know in this country. I don't want to fill up your feeds or whatever boxes. But it's valuable info, especially in the links. You don't have to share the video, but make sure you get that information around in the links in the description, especially the second one. I don't give two shits about Forza, but make sure everybody knows the conference times so they won't have to keep asking me. I mean, of course, I can go to these websites, copy and paste the info, which I don't mind, but make sure you get that out to the people so they can know.